Hello YouTube, welcome to my channel. My name is Knight, and today we're going to... No. Now, we gotta put you back where you came from.
Sorry about that, guys. He sometimes gets out and kind of gets away with doing certain things. He's almost made like 3 different YouTube videos on this channel before. I don't know what his deal is with YouTube, but he likes it just as much as I do.
Can I do this video for you?
No. No, you can't take over this video.
Well, can I at least be in the background?
Fine, we'll put you in the background, but that's it. That's all you got.
Thank you.
I hope you're happy now. So, anyways, what's up guys? Welcome to my channel. My name is Forrest Knight. If you haven't yet subscribed, be sure to do so. And today, I'm finally upgrading my MacBook Pro. Now what that doesn't mean is that I'm replacing my old MacBook Pro with a new MacBook Pro or any other type of Apple device. What I'm doing is increasing the power and speed of my current MacBook Pro. For those who don't know, it's a mid-2012 that is extremely slow. Whenever I go and run the iOS simulator with an Xcode, I have to cut out big chunks of video in these videos because it just takes way too long and I want to have a decently short video. And just to show you the speed differences between before and after, before I actually tell you what I'm going to do, I'm going to do a boot test. So right now my computer's on, I'm going to shut it off and then have a timer and see how long it takes to get from off to the lock screen where I'm actually able to type in my password. Because sometimes I'm able to get to the lock screen but not type in my password. So we're gonna see how fast that goes this time around, and then we're gonna test it at the end of the video to see how fast it goes with the new SSD. And that is my upgrade. I'm upgrading from my hard disk drive from 2012 into a new to me, Samsung 850 EVO solid state drive. This is a 500 gigabyte. What I currently have is a 750 gigabyte. And although I'm not using all of it, I was kind of worried about not having enough storage space. And I didn't want to spend the money on a 1 terabyte SSD, so I just got the half terabyte. So what else I got is a second HDD caddy. And what I want to do with this is replace my optical drive in my computer and use this as a secondary hard drive. Well, meaning I'm going to replace this with the optical drive, and I'm going to take my old disk drive and put it into here, so I have 500 gigabytes of SSD, 750 gigabytes of hard disk drive. Let's get started. All right, so I have this stopwatch ready to go, and I'm going to hit start and the power button at the same exact time. All right, so that go at it, I kind of walked away and forgot that this doesn't stop the same time that this stops. So I'm gonna go look back on the footage and show how long it took this time around. But I'm also gonna test it again, maybe 1 or 2 more times, just to have a nice test basis to go off of. All right, round 2. Ready, set, hit it. So that was the second take. I think the first one took a little bit longer than that, so we're gonna go for a 3rd try just so we can get a nice average out of the 3. And test number 3. So that one was around 139 or so, and I'm able to type in my password as you can see. So now let's get into switching it out. Actually, scratch that. First things first, I have to download all of the information from my laptop, so my current hard drive, onto an external hard drive, so I can download that information from the external hard drive onto my solid state drive. But I know it's gonna be very busy, so just know I did that, and now we're gonna go take out and swap the hard drives and make sure we get the optical drive out and incorporate that secondary HDD caddy, because everybody loves more storage. Oh yeah, one more thing before we get started. I'm going to move back to my office because I feel that this lighting in here is absolutely horrendous. So that means say bye tonight.
Thank you all for watching my channel.
And once again, it's not your channel, it's my channel.
No, it's not. It's my channel.
Whatever. Anyways, let's go ahead over to my office.
Goodbye.
And that's not a joke, it really has been that long because I kind of underestimated the amount of time that it'll take for the hard drive to transfer all this data over to my external hard drive. And I had a lot of work to do before I actually committed to transferring all that data over because, like I said, I underestimated the amount of time. I thought it was going to be good like that night. And I guess it would have been if I didn't actually close my laptop. Speaking of that, I don't know where I put it. And I found it. So when I closed my laptop, it made everything freeze. So when I woke up in the morning, it wasn't completed yet and I needed to use my MacBook, so I had to postpone it until the next night. And then here we are that next day. Maybe it's been a little bit longer than I thought actually, since the night of the next day, because I've had a bunch of things to do today. But now our mission is to turn off the computer first because I know it's on, and then I want to take off the back. So here we have the innards of a mid 2012 MacBook Pro, our battery, our RAM, our motherboard, our hard disk drive that we're going to be replacing with our solid state drive, and our optical drive that we're going to be replacing with a caddy, as well as this inside the caddy. But first things first, what we're going to have to do is take out our optical drive, put in our caddy, and put the solid state drive within the caddy. Actually, hold up. I just confused myself. The whole reason why I backed this up onto an external hard drive is so that I could put this in the caddy, the solid state drive into here, and then once I transfer over the data from the external hard drive onto the solid state drive, I'll be able to wipe this drive, which is the hard drive that'll be here, clean. Sorry for the confusion, I was confused myself. All right, so I've been working on this. I just set these two things back into place loosely in order to give you guys a better representation of what I've done. But before I get into that, I do want to show you a few tools that I'm using, and I'll be sure to link to everything down in the description box below. What we have here is actually a toolkit from replacing my iPhone screen. Every time you buy a screen with this company, they send you tools. So I have this left over. We didn't use many of these things, and in all honesty, there's probably a toolkit. I actually may have a toolkit over here that works better. I'm going to show you that one next, but I had this laying around and this is what I began using. So the main things I used was this screwdriver, which has interchangeable heads, one being a small Phillips screwdriver in order to get off the back, get off any screws within the innards of the MacBook Pro, as well as a star. This, I haven't found it to fit anything on here yet, but it fits the bottom of an iPhone 6 or an iPhone 5 or I guess any other iPhone. This is to pop out a SIM card, haven't need to use that here. And these two have really helped when removing these two things. And I'm going to explain what I've done and kind of show you all of the uses for this here in a sec. And the beautiful thing about that, I've actually broken two screens. This is essentially the same thing, but I like that one better due to the screwdriver being nicer. And the other one also came with something like this, which is a magnetic strip that has an iPhone layout. Like I said, this is an iPhone kit, and it allows you to place the screws where they came from because most of the screws are very different, including in the MacBook Pro. So it's very nice to have a toolkit like that and a magnetic strip so you don't lose your screws. However, if you want something more legit, we have this Husky 14-piece precision screwdriver set. Remember, this will be listed down in the description, so you don't need to remember that or write it down or anything like that. Just click on the link. So this comes with a screwdriver with a bunch of different heads, one being the exact size Phillips head that you need, which is that one right there. It comes with flat heads. It comes with 4 different Phillips head sizes all the way up to that size. It comes with 2 star, I know there's a specific name for it, but 2 star heads and then 2 Allen wrench heads. And the reason this really comes in handy, I'll show you in a second, because this has a tool that I needed that one did not. But for now, let's get into this. So back to this tool. So what I did, I made sure I removed these and these two right here, as well as the one that we're going to talk about here in a sec. And after that, I had to remove a screw from right here next to the speaker. There were 2 screws right here and right here. And then there were 3 more screws right up here. 1, 2, 3. You can barely see the hole right there. But that is so we can lift this up and remove all the screws, one from here, which is accessible no matter what, and then one from right here. I know it's hard to see on the screen, I'm just kind of trying to show you the general area. Now we're able to slide this on out without hurting anything. And if you notice, mine looks a little bit different. That's because I already replaced this. As you can see, this is my caddy, which I'll talk about here in a sec, but I took this little piece adapter right here that goes from the motherboard right there to the optical drive and plugged it into our caddy, and then I unscrewed this adapter in order to screw it into our computer and screwed it onto our caddy, which is actually a little bit damaged. I didn't damage it this way, this is how it came, so I will link a caddy down below, but I'll make sure I don't link the people who sold me this one. I'll make sure I link somebody else because this looks like a used, dropped, beaten up caddy. I don't know if it's their fault or the shipping. I really think it's theirs because the shipping was pretty sealed tight, but whatever. If you plan to do anything like this, just know that this will be linked down in the description box below as well. And then what is next? That is to take out this disc in order to put it into our caddy and then put this, ooh, how beautiful is that, into our main hard drive slot. So what we did was there's 4 screws, 1, 2, 3, 4. We unscrewed these, took them out. We unscrewed these, basically loosened them. They're still in there, as you can see. And we can take this whole black piece out, and then we're able to remove this, but not before unplugging the hard drive itself. And this is kind of where I am now. So as you can see, these don't actually match. See, I can't put them in. Why is that? Because there's screws on here, and this is why this Husky kit comes in handy, because these are star, like I said, I know there's a name for it, I just don't know it. These are star screws, so I need to have the right adapter, and this little star screw that fits in the iPhone is way too small for that. So that's where this comes in handy. This comes with a star head that is a perfect fit into this, and I'll be able to unscrew this, and then I'll be able to insert it into the caddy. So now that the screws are removed, we're able to insert that perfectly. And also, when you take this out, make sure you use the pull tab. It's there for a reason. It easily comes out, and then you unplug it that way when you take it out of here. So now this is plugged in well, and we're going to insert this back into the optical slot, but I'm not going to connect it to the hard drive or to the motherboard just yet, because I don't want this to interfere. Wait, this is loose. I have to screw this back in. I'm sorry, I'm a step ahead of myself. So what we have to do is screw these back in order to tighten it. Make sure you squeeze so it gets right in the holes. And voila, now we have this nice and snug. We're gonna insert this, but like I said, I'm not gonna hook this onto the motherboard yet because I don't want the data on this, because it's still full with the operating system, to interfere with anything. I'm not sure if it would or not, but I'm just not gonna take any chances. I'm going to back up everything onto this and make sure the operating system and everything from this device is onto here. That's why I backed it up onto the external hard drive. And then I'll be sure to wipe this after I plug it in. And a big deal about this is that you want to make sure you remember which screws go where, because not all are the same size. Some are deep, some are long, some are very short, some are a little bit shorter than the others, some are a little bit longer than the others, so there's a very big distinction between where they need to go. I'm sure you'll figure it out because some won't match perfectly, but you want to be able to save yourself a headache. Make sure you replace them onto a piece of paper, onto a magnet, in a similar fashion as to how it's laid out on the actual MacBook Pro. Alright, so now that we have that all screwed into place, so this is screwed in with the screw here, here, here. We had to make sure that all these are screwed in and properly attached. That's what we're about to do now. We're just going to attach everything that we can, because that's essentially everything in this area besides the actual optical drive, or now the hard drive itself, because it doesn't interfere with us putting in this hard drive. Alright, so now the next mission. We have to put this into here. However, first, I think we should put those screws that we took out of the previous hard drive into this in order to properly fit it into the slot. How annoying is it that when little screws fall on the ground, it seems like they are able to move like a mile away? So you're looking at the whole entire ground until you find the little screw that you need. You can't tell me that's not relatable. I guarantee many of y'all have done that before if you worked with anything, and I dropped it again! Alright, I'm struggling here. Let's actually get this done. Alright, you just gotta make sure you're smarter than the screw. Me? I wasn't smarter than the screw. I was trying to put the screw down. Instead, why don't I put the screw up so it can't fall off, and then slowly place it, and then screw. Duh. Alright, so now that we have the screws fitted in there, we're going to plug it into our previous hard drive plug that is already in there. Make sure a little dog hair doesn't sneak in, because that may mess things up. Who knows? Now that we have that plugged in, we're going to slide it into place. That actually fit way more beautifully than I thought it was going to. And then we have to put this down in, and we're going to screw up all the screws. And looky there, it's essentially done. What we have to do is transfer the external hard drive data onto this current hard drive data, so we have the operating system and all of my other information. And then we're going to come back under, because I have to put the back plate on so I don't touch the fan or mess up any of the innards when I'm using it and transferring the data. And then I'm going to have to plug this back in, wipe the hard drive, make sure this acts as a secondary hard drive, and then we should be good to go. So let's take a look to the computer. Actually, I am going to try it by plugging this in, because I'm just thinking if I were to try to put the top on, this may push down and it may touch something. So I'd rather it be on the proper pins than the improper pins. So we're going to plug this in so it's at the proper, and the hard drive and caddy are activated. It's like so, and I think we'll be good, but we'll find out. Now we won't have to mess with any of this if it works. And there we have it. Let's check this thing out. Alright guys, believe it or not, but this is Forrest from several weeks into the future from the Forrest you were just watching. And that's because I'm editing the video, as you can see here, and I don't really have a concise ending because it was an absolute mess. Like, I stumbled over myself when I was going through actually the hardware of this, but actually getting through the software was way harder than I expected, but could have been way easier if I would have watched this video in the past, but it wasn't created yet, nor did I know the information that I should have, but I do now. So if you plan to do this, do what I say here. All right, to give you a better perspective, I'm just going to show you on the computer what I tried to do. So this untitled, I don't know why it's untitled, it is my Samsung drive, and my secondary hard drive is my actual secondary hard drive in the caddy, which did load the operating system like I didn't want it to, but this is all I had to do. Imagine this operating system is running on the secondary hard drive, which it was. It isn't right now, but it was. All I had to do was come over to the Samsung and hit erase instead of restore. What I was trying to do was hit restore because I was going to restore it in order to get it compatible with the Mac. And I was going to restore it with the secondary hard disk drive because that's what I wanted onto this operating system or onto this hard drive. But all I had to do was hit erase, and then when I erase it, it would create a partition, which for some reason you can't see now. And then what I had to do was shut down my computer and then press the power button, and as it was booting up, hold down Command Option R. What that would do is take me to a screen where I'm able to choose my internet, my Wi-Fi, and enter my password, and then it'll take me to a like a disk utility type screen where I could kind of choose the hard drive, or I could reinstall Mac OS. That's what I wanted to press. Reinstall Mac OS, install Mac OS onto my Samsung drive that is now erased, and then it would install Mac OS onto the Samsung drive, bare bones. And keep in mind, you had to hold down Command Option R because there's an alternative where you can just hold down Option, it'll take you to a similar screen. That doesn't work when you try to go reinstall Mac OS. I don't know why, it just didn't work. And this is a solution that someone else came up with on one of the forums. And lo and behold, Mac OS was installed on my Samsung drive, but it was just bare bones. We still had to get all my information from my either external hard drive or my hard disk drive, because they have the same exact information on them, onto my Samsung drive. So I have all of my files. So what I did was I booted it back down and then booted it back up, but this time I just held Option, I think. You could hold either one. It doesn't really matter on this step. Let's just say hold down Option, and that would take me to where I could choose the hard drive that I wish to boot up with. So I chose the Samsung drive, so I would boot up a bare bones Mac OS install on that drive. Then I plugged in my external hard drive to back up my Samsung drive. I didn't use my disk drive because, one, disk drives are slow. Two, it makes it even slower being in an internal third-party caddy, so I just wanted to have something a little bit quicker, so I did an external hard drive, and I transferred all the data over to my Samsung drive via Time Machine backup. That's it. So keep that in mind if you're ever going to try to do some type of upgrade like this from a disk drive to a Samsung drive. But that'll be it for this video. This is a very complicated video to make. I hope you guys stuck through to the end because the beginning, really bad lighting, but I felt like I had some entertaining things in there. The middle, kind of mundane, but like me, I like to look at circuit boards. I only say mundane because the everyday person wouldn't want to just look at the bottom of a computer. Me, or some of you guys, probably like, I'm fine with looking at the bottom of a computer all day or at a computer screen all day. You know, that's cool. That's what we like. But I hope you made it to the end of the video. If you did, be sure to like it. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't yet. I'd like to see you in the future. And until next time, have a good one.